Hi Daddy, can you help me with my homework?
Sure, honey. What is it about?
It is about economic growth, but I didn't understand it. Can you explain it to me, please?
Of course, darling. Economic growth is the increase in real GDP over time. It happens when there is an increase in one of the components of aggregate demand. I will draw you some diagrams in a minute. Aggregate demand will shift to the right, decreasing the deflationary gap, and increasing the GDP, which then results in economic growth, represented in the first diagram. The economy has moved towards the full employment level of output. The second diagram shows the production possibility. If economic growth occurs, there will be a shift from point A to point B, showing that resources are being used more efficiently. However, an economy will never fully employ all resources to the fullest extent. That is why point B is not on the production possibilities curve. In the long run, an economic growth can also be represented by a shift in the long-run aggregate supply curve to the right. When the full employment level of output is increased, long-run aggregate supply will increase as GDP is increased, resulting in a shift to the right. An increase in quality or quantity of an economy's factors of production cause the right shift of the long-run aggregate supply curve. On a production possibility curve, the production possibilities curve will shift outwards. Look at these diagrams.
Oh, that makes sense. But why is economic growth so important?
Well, honeybee, if economic growth is happening, there will always some consequences of it. If the negative consequences are bigger than positive ones, then the economic growth might be bad for the economy and people as a whole.
What are the positive consequences, Daddy?
First of all, pumpkin, economic growth is a non-inflationary growth, which means that the price level does not change. Since supply will increase, the need for more workers will increase, causing a decrease in unemployment. Also, people will have higher living standards and higher incomes as a result of economic growth. If people have higher incomes, the government will be able to increase tax rates, resulting in a greater government revenue, which then can increase the government spending. The firms will be able to export more with government spending. Levels of education and technology also increase while economic growth occurs.
Are there any examples for these consequences, Daddy?
Of course there, my child. For example, Turkey's economic growth increased from -4.9 to 9.2 between 2010 and 2011. This huge increase in growth affected the country in a good way. The government increased its spending and made roads, bridges, and gave people green cards, which enables them to get free education. Also, unemployment fell from 10% to 7%. The companies like Turkish Airlines developed further in technology. The tax rates also increased to pay new spending and also subsidy these companies.
Thank you, Daddy. But what about the negative consequences?
There are always some negative consequences due to economic growth, Munchkin. As an economy grows, people are more likely to receive higher incomes, which could be considered a positive consequence. However, the increase in income might be a result of workers working longer hours, which means they're sacrificing their leisure time and neglect their personal relationships, causing workers to be unhappy. Also, structural changes in an economy are likely to result in structural unemployment, so not everyone benefits from the economic growth. Moreover, as the economy is growing, there's likely to be an increase in greenhouse gases being released into the air, higher amounts of household waste, and depletion of non-renewable energy sources, causing negative effects on the environment.
That is so bad. Did this ever happen, Daddy?
Yes, baby. Let's take a look at China. Their economy has been growing significantly over the past few years, but the negative consequences of their growth are shown drastically. Their nation is demanding more fossil fuels to power infrastructure. More land is needed to make space for new industries and businesses, killing thousands of trees, as well as an increase in privately owned vehicles, contributing to global carbon dioxide emissions and global warming. China is expected to emit more CO2 than North America and Japan combined by 2025. China is number 16 in the top 20 of the most polluted countries in the world. The air pollution in China is responsible for 400,000 premature deaths annually, but also damaging nature, killing or harming animals and plants like the endangered panda.
Daddy, that's horrible.
Unfortunately, it is.
Do you believe that economic growth is always good for the citizens of a country, Dad?
I believe economic growth is usually good for people, but not always. It's true that people have more job opportunities and higher living standards, and also unemployment decreases, but there will always be some negative consequences. People will neglect each other in the sake of higher incomes, and this may cause some unethical issues for people. The increase in pollution will harm many people or even kill them. The resources will be depleted and the environment may suffer, which is all bad for citizens. If we were able to prevent these problems and have economic growth at the same time, I would say I fully support this argument. Since we have some disadvantages, I say economic growth is not always good for the citizens of a country.
Thank you, Daddy. You helped so much.